Zoom that out a little bit. It's the first time doing this setup, so we'll see how well this goes. If it goes well, we might do it. We'll probably do it again. If not, well, it is what it is, right? Well, Warhammer painting is something that I've wanted to try. Hopefully the audio is coming well. I don't think there is a way for me to check, because this is a lot different setup than my normal, than what we do normally, unfortunately. Just kind of how we do it. Oh, this is going to be interesting, because I kind of have to do it like this, don't I? I don't really have a way to set up or situate myself. Oop, I dropped my brush. There we go. Oh, let's see. So yeah, I think it's going to be something like this. I think that's kind of how I have to do my painting and look through the screen. Unfortunately, I got a lot of dust on my brush from doing that. Which I think I want to be zoomed in a little bit. I don't know what the actual zoom rate is, but we're just going to get started. And if people join, then people join. But, and let's see. Today, we're going to be painting, let me zoom out just a hair, this Blood Bowl set from Warhammer. So far, what I've done is I've already taken all our models, built them, and they are all assembled with a... this is going to take a lot of getting used to. Getting used to dealing with the camera. My phone camera this way, but this is what we're working with. I don't think we're going to complete the model today. It takes a long time to do these. However, I think we're going to try to at least try to get the skin. We're going to go for kind of a green, maybe like a green-blue with these undertones. But, so, yeah. Zoom out a little bit. So let's just get to... First, we're going to start off with some dry brushing. So, and I'm going to start dry brushing with a nice pastel color, since I think that'll work pretty good. I just want to lighten this darker maroon color, I think. I don't want to go too heavy on it. I want the shading to be fairly light. So first, want to get my brush just a little damp. If it's a little damp, I think that's where we kind of want to be. Yep, like that. And just start getting some paint off the brush, because we don't want to paint it. We just want a little bit to come off. Kind of like that. You see how there's not much on my hand? That's kind of what we're looking for. We're not painting, we're dusting, more or less. What are we making? We are making, and let me grab it quick. I got the box right here. We are making the Blood Bowl orc cut. So, I've already gotten the models primed and put together, so, and I think we're just going to be able to get to the skin, and then maybe the armor we'll get to. We have 12 models in total, a couple of them being more, these bigger guys. And then we have some goblins as well. Let that focus. So the goblins, I think, will take a little bit less time, just because they're so small. I can see there's still a little bit too much on my brush here. So, do a little test. But that's kind of what we're looking for. Maybe still just a little bit too much for my liking. But once we get to a nice consistency, it'll be good. And just trying to be very gentle with this, adding this on, because we're just trying to lighten this color, so then we can go over it later with a more translucent green. And the reds and the green, how they work is they'll kind of cancel each other out and look more like an actual more muted kind of black, a more natural looking black is what we're hoping to see. But otherwise, black is just kind of a stark color, especially on Warhammer, or a lot of this painting stuff. So I want something a little bit more subtle, a little more natural looking. Sure, we can do a black base coat and then come in with white. But I'm going to try to build it up with this nice violet pink type thing. And I think that might work a little better. I haven't done one of these ones yet. I don't really work with orcs. I do more Tyranids on the 40k. But me and my the store owner have been talking about doing some Blood Bowl. And we're just going to see how that works out. So, really just trying to build up a base level. Not trying to get super white or bright on it. Not trying to lay it down super heavy. We'll go on with some more whites later. Hey Jordan, how's it going? Just trying to get a little bit of lightning in there. And then once we go over with the green, all these dark recesses that you see that like on that arm, like right there, that should it should turn to more like a natural black instead of a more harsh black, which is the main thing I want to try to avoid. Normally I use an airbrush for this process, but I always hear about doing dry brushing for your volumetric. Oh, doing great. Thank you, Jordan. But I want to try something a little different since I know the dry brushing can be a little more controlled. And we'll see what we can get from that. I'm not super concerned about going over the armor. Armor is going to be getting we're going to hit the armor with a metallic, which will be very heavy. And so none of our shading will go through, which is exactly what I'm kind of looking for, I think. Get right there on that head. See if I can get a little bit into that nook and cranny, but I'm trying to... You don't really want to go up on this, since our light is coming down. If we go up on it, then it kind of removes the illusion that there's a shadow there once it's fully done. So just trying to put... Not painting, just more dusting is what I like to call it when I'm doing a lot of this dry brushing. But let's see. Do a once over on him. I think we can get this part just a little bit better on that bicep. You can see right there his palm's very dark, which is kind of what we're looking for, but since this is kind of like a mid-tone, I'm going to try to hit it a little more, just so it shows up in our final result. But again, just trying to keep all of our brush strokes in the same direction. That way, it looks more natural. I don't do a lot of slap chop. What are we making? Oh, we're making Blood Bowl figures. This is the orc team. I think it's called the Black Orcs for Blood Bowl. And it's a less popular version of Warhammer, but it's one that I've really liked. I thought it was always very cool. I'm not very much into sports, but I do enjoy playing Warhammer, and I think Blood Bowl is about the only sport that I actually do like. So, I know I like the video game a lot. The video game is always very cool. Trying to keep that same direction. Just trying to get the very bottom, or not the very bottom, trying to keep right under there dark so it keeps that nice natural black. But I want to try to just volumetrically shade this guy. And of course things like right there in that crevice is going to look really dark once we put our translucent green on there. But I think this guy's just about done. Need just a little more hitting on that head. Right there in that angle. Check the other side. And I think that's just about good. So that one's good. And head on to the next guy. Who looks exactly, or you can see he looks a little bit different. Previous guy has more of a muzzle on his face. This guy's more just letting that jaw hang out. So, I think I need to touch up again on paint. It's feeling a little light from our wet palette. And we just want this a small little bit coming off. We don't want a lot. If too much, it kind of ruins it. But if we just go nice and slow, just getting a little bit on there, we can always put more on. If you put too much on, it kind of ruins it, right? So, just shading it, really. Hopefully, we can get to the green today. Did I make it myself? You kinda. You buy them in these sprues, which I don't really have access. Or actually, I have one right by me, so I can show you how they come. But let's see. This is kind of how they come in. This is a different model, obviously, but you can see it's all. Ooh, and I did not mean to do that. But you can see it comes all in this one big sprue. You cut them out and then you glue it. And then you got to prime it and all that. So I already did those off stream. I felt like that was kind of a boring step, which I didn't want to put you guys through. It's my least favorite step, at least. But you got to get through the boring stuff to get to the good stuff, as some people like to say. So kind of find a nice way to hold it. Not super concerned about getting out of my hands. It's just acrylic paint. It's not boring. Oh, thank you. But I think the painting's fun, but the actual putting things together, like actual snipping and gluing, that's my least favorite part of the hobby. Everything else, once you get past that, it's a lot of fun. A lot of dice rolling, a lot of time spending, just painting minis like this, having a good time. And it's fairly relaxing. And hopefully people like it along the way. A little bit different than my usual setup that I normally do. But that's okay. Sometimes change is good. So, feels a little light again, so just hit it with that. Swirl it around. Kind of get on this, do a little test on a flatter panel that I don't care as much about. That I'll probably paint over anyway. Because I just really want to get that skin tone. Skin is going to be our lowest layer. Oh, thank you for the sub. But skin will be our lowest layer on this model. And then I like to go from the lowest thing to the highest thing. Because I can always, if I overpaint, I can always touch it up. But trying to touch up on a lower section is a lot more difficult. Especially since this is going to be a piece of armor. Armor is a lot easier to paint than skin. And I'm going to be relying on kind of a nice shading on the skin to make it look more realistic. Because I really want things like those veins in that bicep to really pop. Because that's what the orcs are about, right? Just being big old strong dudes. And who don't want to be just a big old strong dude? Yeah, we will add more color. Right now it's mainly just focusing on getting shading. Shading is one of the bigger things. Because what happens after this is we can put a very like translucent color on it. And that'll actually shift a lot of what you're seeing with this red. Because once we have all the shading done, all this skin tone will be green. But you have to build up the light sources first to really get it to pop. And it's a really interesting effect how things like your greens, your yellows, even your pinks kind of work with your undercoat if you just layer it properly. It's almost like a magical transformation on the final product. Because right now it looks very red, which isn't what we want for a final product, but it'll look really cool once it's done, which even looking at it now with just the pink, it looks almost like he's albino, which I'm kind of liking. Kind of like that one albino orc from Lord of the Ring, from the Hobbit movies. So, what other colors are you going to add? This is going to be kind of a Well, obviously we're going to add green because he's an orc. But along his main armor sections, I think are going to be maroon. And then he's going to have some trim around here that's going to be more of like a steel color, a darker steel. So he'll kind of look like the word bearers from 40k, but an orc form. Do a once over, hit underneath that arm just a little bit more. I was on the underside of this. Yep, I missed that one completely. So try to get in there. Try to hit it. If we can't get to a spot, then that's fine. That just means that that's supposed to be dark. And then we'll obviously add some like browns and stuff for leather. But just doing it this way kind of gives us a good kind of like guide for the rest of the model as we move forward. Since it kind of tells us where's our light spots and where's our dark spots. So I'm going to call this guy good. Or I'm going to say that's pants. I'll hit it. It's going to be... I'm going to use the same technique on the pants anyway. Oop, that's a little bit too much. That was a little strong. It's okay if it's a little strong, though. You can always fix it later. You just try not to make it too strong, since fixing it's a little more difficult. But we're not trying to keep it this red. It's more just for... This red's more for just more dark shadows. And don't really care about the armor panels, since obviously we'll be doing a metallic over that, which metallics are very opaque, meaning no matter what, we won't even see it on the end result. Kind of just do a fluffy dry brush on this, since that might be some leather. And the inside. Oh, face reveal? Oh, I have tons of face reveals on the channel if you want to check them out. I don't hide it. It's just I don't really have a good camera for right now, for at least the painting part. But there's plenty of videos of my face just on the channel where we do gameplay, since I use a face cam there. How's that? Good. Yeah, I think this guy's good. Nice little highlight. It shows us the shadows pretty nicely, I think. What games do I play? I've been playing a lot more Dead by Daylight. Yeah, let's see if I can fix... I want to fix something with the camera. See if I can move it just a little bit so I can have a better resting point for my arm. Oh yeah, I like that a lot more. Bring it higher, that way I can get my arm under there. And hit. Now let's see, what's the thing holding that in? Is it this one? I think so. Turn that knob. Okay, good. There, now I can actually rest my arm instead of floating it. And there we go. That'll make it a lot easier to paint. But I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight. Been doing a series of Dispatch on the channel. And I think we're going to be doing Warhammer. I think we're going to be doing Warhammer Rogue Trader on our live stream, based on what the current results are. I would donate $20, but I'm only 11. Oh, don't worry about donating. I don't even think you can donate, since the channel's not big enough, and I don't want people who can't even make money donating, you know? I don't think that's right. Plus, I'm not struggling for money. So, don't worry about it. Appreciate the gesture, though. Let's see. No, if we make money on the channel, I'd rather it come from like ads and stuff. I don't wanna be taking people's money, you know? Unless they're in a position to do so and really, really want to for some reason. Now, I'm an engineer, so I make decent money. And don't it wouldn't feel right, you know? Oh, thank you for that, Chris Kringle. It's very cool. Very nice of you. Yeah, Warhammer fan. I do Tyranids on 40K. But the store owner and I have been talking, and we're going to try getting into Blood Bowl. So this is one of the orcs. Since I liked playing the orcs on the Xbox game, on Blood Bowl 2. Because Blood Bowl 2 is a lot better than Blood Bowl 3. Yep, I played plenty of Space Marine. I mainly do, when I do Space Marines, I usually do Death Watch. An Imperial Fist Death Watch character. Since those are some of the coolest boys. Especially since they're the founding chapter for the Death Watch. Not the chapter master, that would be the Mortarions, I think they're called, but yeah. Oh, Salamanders? Yeah, my friend loves Salamanders. He's doing Salamanders for 40K. But I really need to work on my Space Marines. I have enough to do a full game, 2K game, but I have to paint them. And since I've been doing so much YouTube lately, it's kind of taken a lot of my time from Warhammer, unfortunately. So that's why I was hoping to start doing some more Warhammer, more painting live streams. Oh, thank you, Ollie, for the sub. Really appreciate you. Well, yeah. I was hoping I could kind of do two birds with one stone with kind of doing more painting videos just to get through my backlog, my giant pile of shame, you know? As to say, I want to get inside that cranny, that nook and cranny. Oh, thank you for the sub as well, Diamond. But no, I'm going to try to do these every Wednesday. Do a Warhammer Wednesday. It won't, yeah, we'll do it next week. Week after, we might have to skip since I'm getting married that day. And the wife will be the wife at that time will be very upset at me if I don't give her a week of dedicated time, you know? So, but after that, I plan to go back to just doing Wednesdays of this and all that. Oh, thank you yeah, we've been dating for 2 years now. Long distance since she lives in another country. And so it's been a big struggle, but going back and forth isn't too bad. You kind of get used to it after doing all the drives and stuff, you know? It's kind of, honestly, I hated the drives at first, but honestly, they're kind of relaxing, I think. No, I just get to sit on, it's kind of like what I do for work. At work, I have more of a desk job, and I get to do kind of the same thing when I'm going to see her. Just putting on a podcast and enjoying my time. So, kind of, as bad as it may sound, I kind of don't like it when she drives with me, just because then I can't listen to my podcasts as much, you know? But I get to spend time with her, so kind of makes up for it, right? But no, I think this shading's actually coming in really nicely. A lot nicer than I expected, especially since we'll have to go over it again with a lighter shade. I just wanted to hit it with this. What is this? AK Pastel Violet? Yeah. I wanted to hit it with a nice violet before going to a more eggshell, an off-white. Oop, that's a little strong. Still a little strong. Dang it. Oh well. It's on the pants. Who cares about the pants, right? This is mainly for the skin. Anyway. Besides, since they're orcs, I would prefer them to be a little different, you know? Skin tones are going to be different between people. No one, or pretty much no one has the same exact skin tone, so I would like that Am I using concealer makeup brushes? No. I do have a couple. I do have some concealer makeup brushes, but these are actually just. These are what are they called? These are from Nick Pro, and these are just actual dedicated dry brushes. They're pretty much the exact same thing. It's just a fat brush that you don't have to worry about. Like I don't have to worry about the point on this, like I do something like this brush, where it has like a nice point and a nice body. That I have to care about the shape and doing like actual detail. So this one, like I don't care. I can mess it up. It doesn't matter. It's just meant to kind of dust the parts, which is really all I want to do. I'm not trying to paint it. I'm just trying to just apply a little bit of pigment. And if we put that little bit of pigment on there, you can see it starts to make shadows. And once we go over with a contrast paint, or what we're going to be doing, a speed paint, it will actually turn to a very nice natural shadow, and as opposed to just a normal black. Do you think I should start doing comedy? You should definitely do comedy, dude. Nick Pro? Oh yeah, Nick Pro is amazing. I would feel so bad if I had like actual expensive brushes, you know? Because I can't really justify spending a lot of money on brushes, especially since I know I'm going to mess them up. So I love Nick Pro just because they're so cheap. I don't have to worry about them that much. And I can kind of just focus more on just doing the art instead of worrying about ruining like a $30 brush from like I don't want to worry about ruining a $30, what is it called, a Quincy Sable brush. No, I'd rather just have a cheap little brush that holds a point, and then once it gets too bad for me to use, I can just throw it away. Or better yet, I can use it as a dirty brush that I don't care about, just to mix paint and stuff, and then throw it away later once the actual furrow's all broken. You know, because you can get, because I prefer to use these this size, which is the number 0, with just this tiny little tip if it will focus. And I'd much rather just use that. You can buy them in bulk. You can get like 20 for $5 or something like that off Amazon haul, and you're set for a long time, dude. So I don't see a reason that you'd buy expensive brushes, you know? Sure, if you're doing like Golden Demon maybe, but these aren't going to be Golden Demons, most likely. I hope not. I hope the Golden Demons are a lot better than me. You know, I've only been painting for 2 years. I would hope someone a lot more experienced would blow me out of the water, which thankfully they do. Thank you for the shout out, Chris Kringle. Much appreciated. Appreciate all the attention you can give us on the channel, since a lot of work goes onto it. So that's a huge, massively appreciated. I'm kind of happy with that. A couple little spots that I want to hit better, but I can't really get in there, so I guess that's kind of how the shadow's going to be. Especially like, or we can get that palm, right? Maybe if we load it up a little more. Eh, did I just wipe it all off? Oops. Oh yeah, that feels a lot better. Oh yeah, there we go. That feels good. And then I just want to hit this palm a little bit, just so we can have a little bit of texture on it when we go over it with a brown. Because I think I'll make these gloves a brown. And I'll probably use a speed paint, since I like Army Painter a little bit more than Citadel. I cannot stand those pots. And I much rather use the droppers. But I think that looks pretty good. Maybe just a little bit more on that eye. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit more on this leg, so that when we do the pants, they look pretty clean. But I think this guy's good. On to the next one. Are you done? Yeah. Or I want to get you that bicep just a little bit better. I know when you're doing dry brushing, you want to get one that's a brush that's too big. All right, next model. Give that a little. Load up the brush again. Test it on our hand. Yeah, I think that might be good. Test on the panel. Yeah, that'll be good. It's okay if all the skins look a little different. I was planning on when we do the actual speed paint, I was planning on doing like a couple different greens anyway. Like some that are a little bit more bluey, some that are a little more yellow. Just because I want a lot of variation in the actual orc skin. Since I don't really want the orc skin to be uniform. They're all different people, you know, so, and different people have different skin tones. And if I make them all look just a little different, I think that'll make it look a little cooler, you know? Go back to front, or front to back, just so that that face kind of pops a little more. Oh, got it off the camera. First time trying to use this camera setup. Usually I do it at my computer, but that's for gaming. I don't really, this is the first one that we're doing for painting. So hopefully it turns out good. Unfortunately, I can't do a lot of the monitoring that I normally do on my computer, where I do more on with my headset and all that, where I have audio feedbacks and all, but this is feeling pretty good. Just keep on dry brushing. The more we keep on just layering it on, the more shadows we create, which is what's really important here. Okay. That glove has a very nice transition, I'll say that much. Very happy with how that turned out. Ooh, can we get inside that neck crevice? I don't think so. I know one of the rules with dry brushing is you want to go a little too big. If you go a little too big on your dry brush, then usually that makes it look a little nicer. You don't want a small dry brush. You want a nice big overarching one just to really get more of a light color, you know. Load it up again. Test. That feels good. Try to get underneath that bicep right in there. Some of these angles are a little hard to get to and keep on camera, so I do apologize for that. Trying the best, but sometimes you just can't get a good angle. Even while looking at it, you just kind of gotta feel it. But this guy honestly came on pretty easy. Ooh, I want to get underneath get inside that armpit just a little bit. Since this is more of it's not our final highlight color. So that's why I want to be a little bit more generous with this. We'll go on with an eggshell after. Just to really get it to, a lot of the greens to pop later. So, I want to get that head a little bit more. Doesn't really matter if we miss it right now, since we will be going back over it again. But I am happy with how this looks. Now, take a drink. And I want to get a little more paint. Since we kind of used a good chunk of our paint there. So drop some more of that nice pastel violet. Load up the brush. Try to get a little off. How's that feel? That feels a little dry. Load up. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. And take our next mini. And go back to dry brushing. It's a little bit of a heavier dry brush, but that's okay. We will be going over it again with a lighter shade anyway. This is just trying to get that mid-tone. anyway, so it doesn't matter if we go a little too strong right now. It'll get fixed later on the when we do more highlights and stuff like that. Anyway, this is just more or less to get our base look down, understand where our shadows are, our high points, our low points, instead of getting away from this nice flat red, which this red is actually supposed to be this nice magenta, which really big fan of how bright that magenta looks on the model, but we started with a black base, and it turned a lot more maroon than I originally thought. Oh, you subscribed and visited? Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy our other content that we have on the channel. It's a little less than this. Sup, Landon? How's it going? Just painting. Well, yeah, just trying to get a nice... If it was black and white, I want you to see the volume is what we're mainly looking for, since that's really what's gonna make it look nice and make it look more nice and natural with the red and the green and how that's gonna work. How's your day? Yeah, it's going all right. A little boring, tired from last night. But if you're tired from last night, that usually means that you worked too late. And doesn't mean that today has to be a bad day. You just got to push through it. I think I overloaded this brush. So there we go. Got that hand, get his booty cheeks. Get underneath. Just so that we can do that brown contrast later on. Speed bank. Will I be live tomorrow? Maybe. I'll have to see what my schedule looks like. Because Thursdays is when the shop owner likes to do Warhammer. So I was going to stop in there and see if his plans. I know he's planning on doing a tournament sometime in August. So I gotta talk to him about that, since I help him host the beginner leagues for Warhammer, which is always a lot of fun, teaching people how to play this glorious and frustrating game. But I feel like every game needs to be a little frustrating, right? I don't got time on me tonight. Oh, no problem, Landon. Don't feel bad. There's always VODs if you want to check them out. And there's videos to check out as well. And obviously we have daily shorts on the channel for Dispatch if you want to check that out as well. And we might be live other times as well. So there's always time to support the channel if you want, or whatever you feel like, Don't feel obligated to do something and don't feel bad if you don't have time. What tournament? Oh, so locally there's a game store around here that I'm pretty good friends with the owner, because I've known him for 2 years, and we do beginner tournaments for Warhammer. So what that means is we play lower point games, and we're just trying to get people into the hobby, helping them out and all that, teaching them rules, and kind of going over things that you can do for painting. So like stuff like this on how to dry brush, or different techniques for painting. So yeah, and obviously we play lots of games. Are you just painting miniatures, or do you do portrait and scenery? No, I just do miniatures. I would like to do more portraits and scenery, since I have an airbrush, and I would really like to try to figure out how to kind of do that, because I feel like you can do really cool airbrush art, but I just haven't gotten to it really. And I have so much Warhammer that I would feel bad starting another project, and not getting through this giant pile of gray shame. So I've just been sticking to Warhammer. Warhammer lets me practice skills anyway. So maybe one day we'll actually do art and crafts, besides this. But I'm pretty happy with how that mini looks. And this will be our last orc. Now we have to do this dry brushing, and then we'll do the goblins, or Gitz, for those of you that know a little lore. 5 likes, yeah, it's popping, dude. It is absolutely popping. I did not expect. I don't know if it's because this is a vertical format, but there's a lot more people than I expected to show up. Learned that you're getting married. Are you streaming it? Happy to watch your fiance looks kind. I'm not sure. I know that we're going to be streaming it to her family because they live far away as well in Asia. So, but obviously we want to celebrate with them, just that we can't go over there to celebrate with them for the wedding. So we will be live streaming it. I don't know if we'll live stream it to YouTube. I will definitely be doing a short on it because I want to do a get ready with me to get married short and something like that. I have a couple other stuff like that I need to actually post. It's just I've been trying to figure out the best way to schedule it because I have a lot of stuff made for the shorts where I do kind of cool stuff like that, but I need to get it scheduled because we get married next Saturday, and I want to do it in like a timely fashion, but not like overloading. But I don't want to do it. I want to make it so it's not like, oh, my fiance when we're already married type of stuff, Because a lot of the stuff is like presents that I've done, since obviously she deserves to have some presents for the wedding. That too far? It is far. Or are you saying that you want the model closer? But it is pretty far. I have to drive, what is it? It's about a 7. If I just go straight, no stopping, it's about 7 hours to go see her. So it is far. Not even my family's going to really be going to it. We'll be having something more local. Obviously, some family members will be going to my wedding, but majority of them aren't going to be. I don't really have hard feelings on that. I completely understand not everyone's in a position where they can take a weekend holiday to go to my wedding, especially since it is a destination wedding, kind of, because it's going to her destination, with us being long distance. But I feel like having something local for my family and going over to where she lives for the wedding is a pretty fair compromise for her. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just happy to be almost done with the wedding preparations, all that, right? Because not very fun. I would recommend being married, or I would recommend getting married, but I would not recommend the process. Because it's just not a fun process, But not everything in life can be fun. Sometimes you gotta go through the sucky times to get the enjoyable times, right? And that's kind of something I learned about Warhammer is I don't like doing all these. I don't like putting together the minis, but I do like painting the minis. So, kind of some similarities there where got to go through the sucky times of putting together minis in order to enjoy painting them, right? And if you have that mentality of things kind of just get better, you don't really dwell on the sucky times. You just look forward to the good times. Weddings are very expensive. We kind of went on the cheap for this one, which I think we're both happy about, especially since we know that we're going to be doing immigration fees and all that. So That's one of the reasons I wanted to get kind of like a cheaper wedding. Or we both wanted one. We both wanted a small one, and it did not turn out small. I'll tell you that much. And it's a lot more expensive than either of us really wanted. Even the what? $30 for a knife? Jeez. That's insane. Is it... What kind of knife is it? Is it special? I thought you just got like a knife to cut the cake. What up, Landon? Let's see. You are unbanned from Dead by Daylight, and you can now get your P100 Blight, is my guess. I might have overbrushed that a little bit, but honestly, fine. I have no clue how I'm going to get inside that mouth, though. Because, that's going to be hard with his muzzle. We will figure it out. We will figure out how to do that one. Nope, I'm getting off the thing. There we go. And I think that's it. That is it for orcs. Say it again. You finally got P100 on Blight is my guess, Landon. Guess you just pay whatever. Huh. Yeah, it's just a knife, right? It doesn't have to be a fancy knife. As long as people just want to eat the cake, right? They don't want to. They don't care if it's a gold knife or a silver knife. Is what how I see it. People just want the cake. Ooh, that's a little heavy, but what if? That'll be fine. Right? Hopefully. Just a base layer, anyway. Or base lighting source. I'm sure it'll turn out fine. Move the 2 zeros? Let's see. Oh, your prestige 1 Blight? I know. I think that was a little too heavy. I overloaded it. Just a hair. But honestly, I think it'll turn out decent either way. Since they're all going to look a little different anyway, being part of the orcs. And plus, they're not supposed to be red. There's just going to be, it's going to all change colors at the end anyway. So I think it'll work out. That's why I'm not super concerned right now. If I put the green layer on and it messes up, that's when I'm going to be panicking and figuring out what to do. But we're not there yet, and I'm confident that it'll all work out based on how I've done other minis where we can be a little heavier. Especially since it's orcs, so orcs can be a little more messy, I think. I feel like being a little messy with orcs kind of fits the character style. The characterization of the orcs, anyway. So, I think it'll be fine. Even if it is heavy. Let's see. We'll get the back of that hand. Try to get that. Just to get his tailcoat. Ask your fiance if she's a Wattpad author. She looks familiar or just her lookalike. I'm not sure what a Wattpad author is, if I'm being honest with you. But I can ask her when we're done with the stream. Which hopefully we will actually get to color by end of the stream. That's what I really want to hit. I want to get the green on here by end of the stream. If not, I feel like we're going to be behind, just a little bit behind where I want to be. But I'm not going to rush it. Rushing it, I don't see the point in rushing a Warhammer paint job when you can do a really good one. How's that look? I think that's a little heavy, but I think that'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine, I think. You can do a little overbrush on it. It's still leaving recesses, so that's all that really matters. you know? And as long as it leaves recesses, that's what really matters, is because we're just looking for that red to be shadow. We just want shadows on this. Try to hit that nose really good. Get the detail on the back of the glove and the thumb. Hit the backside. But who knows, maybe if she'll join, we can ask her what a Wattpad author, or if she is a Wattpad author. I know she used to do some poetry, so if that's what you're talking about, maybe. But I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Wattpad. You know? Is that like Pinterest or something? For like writing or something, like that? Or who knows? Maybe she has an entire double life that I don't know about. Like a secret agent. But usually she hops in the stream for a little bit just to say hi. And give a little support. Which, very much appreciated. Get any support that we can get. You know? Especially with it being such a small channel. With it being such a small channel, any support that we can get is a good support, I feel like. Once you get a little bigger, then you have to start worrying about what kind of support it is, I think. But as long as you're a small channel, the main thing that's important is growing. It's an app where you can read lots of fiction novel series. I think that's your fiance who wrote the heartbreaking story. Oh, do you know the title of it? Maybe I'll go check it out and see if she's living a double agent life that I don't know about. I am pretty happy with how this Gitz is looking. I'm just happy with how all these models are kind of coming out. I don't really usually do dry brushing for shadows, so I wasn't too sure how this is going to look. Usually I just use my airbrush because it's nice and quick. But, oh, it's deleted? Possibly. I know she used to have a lot. It looks like Dusty Lilac. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Or, it's supposed to be kind of. It's a pastel violet from AK. So, it's kind of around that same color tone, right? I think it's just about there in the same shade on the phone versus real life. But I think we're just about good with this guy. Just doing a once over quick. You get that hand just a little bit. Check the palm. Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, not too this. I really hope that it turns out good for playing the game. I haven't actually played Blood Bowl on tabletop before, so but I have done it in the game, the Xbox game. Oop, that is really heavy. Oopsie. Oh well. Take off a little more. Yeah, that'll be fine. We want green to show through. If it's a little bit too light, that's fine. It'll turn into, it means that our skin tone will be a little bit more prominent and they'll look, not whiter because obviously they're going to be green when all is said and done, but a lighter green, I guess. Or more true to the speed paint green, I suppose. Or whatever offshoot of green we choose. Since I don't want them all to be a straight green, I want them all to be I want them to have some variation. So like maybe like a purpley green or a blue green or a yellow green. I want them to be all just a little different in skin tone. Just like real people, where they all have just a little different skin tones. If that's your fiance, please give me her signature. Your fiance is a creative writer. The story was released in 2023, if I'm correct. You can actually go to her. What's that? Oh, I thought I don't know why I thought someone was calling me because I'm recording this on my phone. But I thought I heard my phone buzzing. That's a little awkward. But yeah, you can actually subscribe to her YouTube. She has one too. She doesn't post quite as often, but it's called Tien Noodles. If you would like to see if that's her. She does a lot of like couples content with us there, where I do more gaming and like hobby stuff on my channel. But we want to do more content related things. Since I know she used to do like content related stuff. She would do mainly poetry. And I've never really been into social media and stuff like this, so all this has been a very big like journey for me to pretty much grow up really fast and try to get modern with social medias and stuff. So it's been a learning experience, mainly because I didn't really care about social media when it first came out, and now I'm trying to get a little out there. Not trying to be super, super famous, but a little out there, you know? Just because it kind of gives me a reason to do more creative stuff like this, which is a good outlet, I think. And probably a better way to get out there than uh, just doing it in my room. Kind of gives me a little more accountability, I think, which I do enjoy. Makes you accountable for people to actually watch, which kind of makes you actually do it more and feel like you're actually making progress, I think. But yeah. What model did you actually make? We made all these, or we put them all together. Obviously they come in these sprues. You got to cut them out, glue them together. But yeah, they all come in that giant sprue, and then they get cut together and look like this. And then obviously I already primed these. It was primed to black, and then we put a magenta over top of it. So I think, I'm not sure why it's as dark as it is, because it almost looks like a very deep blood red. So I wasn't expecting it to be quite as dark with the magenta over top of that black. So that was a little, what's that? That was his ear. Kind of got, I'm trying to figure out what happened there. But no, I think this is, yeah, that's coming off nicely. Nice and volumetric. Main thing we're trying to do right now is, if I was to turn the video black and white, mainly trying to make it look good black and white, like it has a natural shadow lighting. That's a lot. Please do content from the basic. People might want to start watching your hobby as yours. It's relaxing to watch you shade. Yeah, I was actually trying to do a video, or I want to do a video series of going from like from this to a fully, or actually give me 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, I'm working on a model series, tutorial kind of Warhammer, where you go from this all the way to a fully painted mini, which I have a couple I started doing, but I didn't like how the video turned out, so I'm restarting it. And I'm going to be working on putting that on the channel, so give me like a couple weeks, since obviously I have the wedding to do and a lot of editing. So kind of working through that right now, especially since I got to figure out what model to do. I was going to do a lieutenant with a power sword, but the video was very blurry. It wasn't focused, which I'm trying to learn a lot for the phone camera recording on a phone, but so actually it stays focused on the model and not on the background like that. So we'll do a series on how to actually make your models look like this. This isn't super great, but This is definitely battle ready, and honestly, most people will consider this done. I think it could use a little more shading and stuff like that, but it's the first one that I really tried to make look good. So, let's see. Put that away so we can go back to shading. That's cool. Your fiance supports you doing this. Yes and no. She thinks I do it a little bit too much, I think, or she thinks. But overall, she is supportive. Overall, she just wants more time, which if you give her all the time in the world, it's still not enough, right? If I gave her 24/7, it's still not enough time in her opinion. She wants to constantly be with me, but like she knows I need my alone time too. I think we all do. It's not healthy to be with one person constantly, you know. Kind of alone time's good, being with other people's good, so I think that was, or at least when we first started dating, she was like that. But you kind of got to get your own friends, your own circles away from your partner, I think. Not to get super away from your partner, but it's good to kind of grow by yourself and then stay with your partner, I think. Be in the same groups, but kind of have your own space. Which she knows that Warhammer is my space, where I like to just sit down and paint. And along with doing the YouTube stuff, she knows that that's kind of my space where I like to kind of just be by myself and just edit videos and stuff. She knows I find that relaxing, so she understands and she supports that. Money-wise, she has some issues, but with me, how much it actually costs to do Warhammer, but I think everyone kind of has that issue. And that's kind of something you just, it comes with the territory, you know? You don't get into Warhammer thinking it's going to be cheap. You get into it because you think it's going to be fun. And the price is something that you just kind of figure out how to deal with. Because if you really want to do something, you will do it, right? Even a crack addict who doesn't have money will find a way to get crack. So you can use the same kind of concept with things like your hobbies. Like, people call this plastic crack. There's magic that's cardboard crack. You will figure out how to make your hobbies work, right? And that is kind of how hobbies go. Which, out of all the hobbies, I feel like Warhammer is a pretty decent hobby. It's a cool hobby, at least. That's one of the reasons I stopped doing magic, was because magic. I did magic for so long, but like I stopped doing it, and I was kind of like looking around my room, since I had decks on the bookshelves and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I really like this game, but I really hate what IPs turn into, you know? Because Magic kind of went on a far shoot where now it's kind of like what I like to call it a Fortnite-ification, where it doesn't really have a clear IP anymore. And it tries to take everything that it can, all the IPs it can. And so I don't really like that. And then I was kind of like looking around my room on what I have for my Magic stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm not actually that happy I have all this Magic stuff. Like, yeah, the cards are cool, but they're not really cool on the shelf. You have to open them up, you have to look at them. Sure, you can make some cool projects by cutting them up and doing art stuff with the cards, but like you're really not just like sitting there appreciating a Magic card. So it's like, I just have all these decks. They're not even really that cool because they're in a deck box that I can't really see. But the cool thing about Warhammer is, like, let's say I'm done painting everything, I get to put this really cool model on my bookshelf, and I can still see it, you know? I don't have to actually go up to it and look at it. It's on the bookshelf, and it looks cool from a distance. You can see I have a giant army that looks sick. So even if I stopped playing Warhammer, I still get some value from Warhammer, because I have these cool little miniatures that I painted and put a lot of time into, and develop some skills like painting and building. So out of all the hobbies, I feel like Warhammer is one of the better ones. Just because you gain skills, you get, worst case, you get a cool miniature to put on a desk or something, even if you stop playing. So there's value when you stop playing Warhammer and you keep your army, right? You don't really get that with Magic. You just kind of sell it. Oh, oh no. His hand is coming off. I will have to fix that somehow. I thought they should have been fully dried. Let's see. Do you plan to sell them? You can actually do live and sell your cards. I've sold some of them. I still have a lot of Magic card, or I don't have a lot of singles anymore. I sold a lot of my singles to friends, but I still have a lot of the decks. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to finish up this volume, and then I'm going to try to paint, or I'm going to try to glue that hand back on. And we'll go from there. That way, that hand coming off doesn't really affect us. Now, I got to be careful with this moon, because I do want this moon to be yellow. So I want that to have a really good highlight on it, because right now it's going to be very, very dark. So I'm going to be very heavy on the moon. Or actually, we could do a white moon. White moon would be cool. Or not a white, but like an eggshell, like a yellow white. I think that looks sick. Right? Honestly, that's looking pretty fresh. Even like this without putting a yellow on it. But that hat looks really sick. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Maybe we'll do something. Oop. Hey, Tien. Tien. One of the chatters is asking if you were an author. Do you know anything? Were you an author in a secret life that I don't know about? You said you made some romance novel a couple years ago. And you looked familiar. Oh, oh no! I dropped the hand. Gotta be careful. She says secret, so maybe. She doesn't tell me anything anyway. It's like pulling teeth when she says secret. So, there you go, Chris Kringle. Maybe she is your secret author that you want to autograph from, but you can subscribe to her YouTube as well, and maybe she'll give you a autograph for that. Let's see. I'm just going to do a basic one since I really want to get onto, I want to glue this back on because it takes a while for the glue to set. I think that's good. Thankfully, I have the glue right next to me. So I like to use this Tamiya cement glue. It works pretty good for me on my models. But apparently I didn't do a good job gluing this one. Maybe I needed a little bit more. But we'll take that. Pop. Just a little dab right there. I want to get a little more on there. Oh, he was saying that it was that app, Etienne. I said I didn't know what that was. And he was saying it was in 2023. So, maybe you are his mystery novelist. Oh, no, geez. Small world. And he said that it was deleted. I'm just trying to make sure that this is nice and set before I continue on. Yes, this is Blood Bowl. You know it's one of my favorites. But there we go. Hopefully it's set on there pretty good. Oop. So apparently I found one of your super fans, Tien. Look at that. Tighten that back on. And we'll get... That should stay, hopefully. Hopefully that'll stay. CTN, there's your fan. I'm stealing your fan, though. He's mine now. I have dibs. I recognized him first. Let's see. This is going to be our last Gitz. And then we're going to go to a lighter shade. Why is that so bright? On his foot. On his footsie. Alright. Get this hand. Look at that. Only doing downstrokes. We do only downstrokes. Honestly, it's probably Tia Noodles. That's what she uses for pretty much everything. Unless she made a secret pen name. Which possibly did. Doo-doo-doo. And get them booty cheeks. There we go. Yeah, just nice little volumetric shading. Honestly, I'm kind of happy with how these look as they are. I'm tempted to, not this army, or this one, but tempted to do this as like an actual paint scheme for something. Like a, oh, was it like a Sin City type? Do black and white. So, and do red highlights. I think that would look kind of cool. You know, the Frank Miller comic. I need to read that one. I've been meaning to put it on the list of things to get, or yeah, of books to get. Just haven't been done so yet. But I do like Frank Miller's art style. I want to do a Warhammer thing that looks kind of like Frank Miller's stuff. I would really like to do Mark Magnolia's, but I have no confidence in myself to do a Mark Magnolia, because he is way too good for me to try to emulate from Hellboy. But I don't think it would work that well, since his style is a lot more blocky, which I really like. But I don't think that would translate well to Warhammer. And get underneath, right in that booty cheek. Okay, I think that's good, right? I don't think I missed anything too much there. Let me hit that handle just a little bit. Get that chest piece as well. Pity. And try to get that neck joint. No, I think we are now done with this shade. So that means that we can go on to another shade. So we can go a little higher. So what that'll do is, so now we're going to, oh, you heard my dad? So we went from this nice dusty pastel violet, and now we're going to go to this eggshell, brain matter beige. So this is going to be kind of like a more of a bone color, a little more yellowy bone color. And I think that will be a nice way to highlight up to white. Because once we go to white, we want to do the same thing that we have been doing, but kind of do it a little lighter. We're not trying to be super heavy with this stuff, now that we've kind of got a good base going. Because once we... Oops, not come out that well. Oh, I know. I think I know why. Is that glossy? No. I think I got the mixing ball in the thing. In the nozzle. Sometimes that happens with these paints when they have a mixing ball. Is the ball will block it. But 1 second, I gotta do something. I gotta close the window. Sorry, Frey. Yeah. Alright, and I'm back over to the painting. Quick drink, and then we can get back into it. So, I just want to do a quick little once over of this guy. Actually, I want to hit that thigh just a little better. So, I want to hit this thigh just a little strong, but that's okay. We'll just even it out a little bit. Remember, there's no actual accents in Warhammer when it comes to painting. It's just because you can touch it up. Nothing's permanent on painting. It's just paint. You don't have to be scared of it, right? It's plastic. So you can always touch things up, I always say. So not too much reason to be scared of just paint, I think. And there we go. That looks really good. So now we'll go on to our other color. So just going to get my brush a little damp so it can get on there a little easier. Feel it. We could use a little more water, I think. So put a little water around the edge with our dropper bottle. That way the absorbing pad can soak that up. And oops, got a little paint on the thing, but that's okay. Oh yeah, that feels good. Yep, nice and moist. Kind of like, you can see that the bristles aren't that stiff, so that's kind of what we're looking for. So we'll take that beige matter and kind of mix it into a circle so we can just start taking pigment from it and test it on our hand. Honestly, it's almost my skin color. Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit more tan looking. Not that I'm that dark in real life. I think you're wasting so much paint. It's okay. It's really not that much paint. Because whatever paint you see is actually just like a little bit. It's really not that much, you know? So this is going to be a very brief one. We already got our base highlights done. So we're just doing a very basic dry brush on top. More or less just to get it more white. Maybe I am wasting a little bit of paint, but I'm not super concerned since it's really not that much. It's not an expensive paint, and it's not a lot of paint. So, and if it gets the result, then I think that's really what matters. Right? There we go. And then once we do our final white, we're just going to be hitting the spots that really matter, like the faces and maybe the claws. Since the pure white's more or less just supposed to draw a lot of attention. This pass, we're just kind of, we're just trying to get just trying to touch off on it. Not trying to make it turn into that nice eggshell. We're just trying to make it so that there's a little bit of shade. Or a little bit anti-shade, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it, a little bit of lighting. So, you can see that that's kind of pinky. Just kind of like that. Still some pink on there a little bit, but not a lot, which is really kind of what the name of the game is. Since it's a volumetric highlight. And thankfully, since we started with a red, it should all blend very well on the speed paint. There we go. I want to hit that thumb just a little more. There we go. And hit that face just a little bit. Be very gentle on the faces. I don't want too much going on that face, because I want to make sure there's a lot of detail on it. Hit underneath there, since the tusks will have to be speed painted as well. Let's see, and I think that's about good enough. But yeah, you can see there's still some of that pink, and then there's some of that some of the lighter parts. Okay, so next model, unload that. That might be a little strong. That'll be fine. We're being very sparingly with it. So, just like that. A little strong on the face, but that's okay. We want the face to be a little strong anyway, because we want the eye to be drawn to the face. Not going to get underneath the bicep, since I want that natural shadow to still hold up there. We're not trying to get underneath spots, we're more just trying to hit tops and sides, I think, since that's where more direct light source should be coming from, really. And honestly, this is looking just about good in terms of volumetric highlighting. Obviously still a lot of work to do, but it's honestly coming to a pretty good start in terms of just paint. Go on to the next guy. Yep, you still got your pink on you. So load the brush just a little bit. Unload it. It's kind of funny when you gotta load the brush and then unload the brush, I think. So, but just trying to be gentle with it. Oh, keep on doing that, don't I? I'm not used to painting it with a camera, so I keep on switching back to looking at the actual piece, and then I realize that I moved the piece off the thing, off the camera lens. I would like to get a better camera, I think, but I'm not too sure how to set it up. Can you add deep charcoal? Yeah, that'll be more of a later step, I think, because I don't like to do blacks until more towards the end, just because of how dense it is and how overpowering black is. That way we can see what needs to be black and what we can kind of balance in there. Like, I think some of these pants will be black. Let's see if I can find any other spots. Maybe like some of these straps. We won't do instead of doing like a leather, we'll do like not really a black, but like a dark gray. Like kind of that dark that deep charcoal that you're talking about. But I kind of do that. I do a deep charcoal on a lot of my Imperial Agents, because I really like that black, since I don't really want to add straight black to things. In real life, there's not actually a lot of true black, unless you're looking at like posters and other like media. where they just are lazy and choose black instead of a offshoot of black. But I'm happy with that guy. Next guy. Load the brush and unload the brush. Check. Yeah, slate. I really do enjoy slate gray. It's like a, what is it, Administranum gray from the Citadel line. But that's a very nice looking gray. Or Dungeon gray from Army Painter. It makes a nice highlight on the charcoal gray when you want to kind of build up a highlight. Get this guy's head. I think it's kind of funny that the orcs don't have hair. Kind of like it that way because I don't want to paint hair. Mainly because laziness. I much rather have a bald guy. Paint a bald guy. It's a lot easier to paint bald people. But I do know how to do it. I just don't do it that often. Since bald things are just so much easier to paint. Why would you not want to choose a bald guy? When you can just be lazy about it. Hair's a lot of work. Because there's a lot of detail in here. When I can just build up highlights. I know. This is coming out a lot better than I expected. So hopefully it looks really good when we do our transformation of a speed paint. And hit it with all that. Your fiance's not answering me. That's probably because she doesn't want to be caught off guard. So, but answer's probably yes if I'm taking a guess. Just because timeline and stuff adds up, you know? But she doesn't really watch stuff like this. She kind of just stays in the background as support. Because she does a lot of work off hours as well. Difference is she does actual work, I just do YouTube. Which is work if you count it. I don't think she counts it though, is the problem. But that's fair. YouTube is still kind of like an enjoyable thing. It's not true work, I think. Not at the level that we're at. Getting a little thirsty. Yeah. Just doing a chill paint session anyway. I would put music on, but I have to figure out how to do that on my phone, since I'm not doing this on OBS or something like that, where I know how to do that. Because on OBS, I know I can just do a playlist of YouTube music from their audio library. But I'm not sure how to do that on mobile for live stream. Actually surprised how stable, or hopefully the video's stable. It is. Considering it's technically from a Wi-Fi and not a direct internet connection. Ooh, that's a really nice volume, if I do say so. But no, she doesn't answer me all the time anyway. So, join the party, I guess. Okay, let's see the face. Hit that face nice and gentle. Not super strong on the face, but strong enough to show the... Yeah, Frey? Yeah? You want out? Are you trapped? Huh? Yeah? Cat saying she's trapped and wants attention to get out the door. Someone closed the door on her. Honestly, it was probably her that closed the door on herself. But no, that looks pretty decent. That looks pretty decent. We need a little more paint, though. Shake a little up. And put a little bit on the wet palette. And we'll get onto the goblins. Maybe put a little bit too much paint on. the wet palette there, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We're going to get the brush just a little wet. I think we need to do just a little bit of water. Just like that. It likes to dry out. Thankfully, I don't have my actual fan on this airbrush station. Otherwise, it'd be drying out super fast. And come on, get some moisture on that brush. I need to get a actual good wet palette, or not a good wet palette. One of those makeup wet palettes. It's like a makeup one where you just kind of tap it and it gives you like the smallest little bit of water. I need to figure out what that name is for that pad. It's like a makeup pad, I think. If I get that, that'll make the dry brushing so much easier, because it'll prevent some chalkiness. But just gently load some of that eggshell. Just like that. Hit that head. Maybe just a little more loading. There we go. Maybe a little strong, but that's okay. It's okay if it's a high contrast on that shadow. I think it'll turn out fine once the green gets on. Thankfully, now that we're at these... Dang it. His hand broke again. I was hoping that... I forgot this was the one that broke. So I'll have to glue that back on again. That one's on me. Of course. For being dumb and forgetting. But we'll definitely get the model at least done, since we're already here anyway. Alright. Already broke it, so might as well. And let's re-glue that guy, since we broke his hand. Again. I really don't want to put this guy super aside, because I would like to do all of them at the same time. Maybe I'll get my super glue. I'll head out just for a sec to get super glue if it keeps on happening. That way we can just get that stuck on there, and so it doesn't affect the painting, because I really don't want to stop and start painting. Okay, put some more white on that. But based on our progress and the time, I think we will be able to get to the green. Thankfully. Oop, get it back in frame. It's easy to get out of frame. A lot easier than I expected. Yeah, Frey. I don't know if you can hear her, but she is definitely being loud. But she's a loud cat. I think that's fine. I like loud cats. They know what they want. Except for this one. She don't know what she wants. Yeah. Yeah. Don't you argue me. There we go. That looks pretty good. Get that ear just a little bit better. Okay. Load our brush once again. And hit that nice bald head. That nice bald Gitz head. Nice and light though. Nice and light. Yeah, that's what Freya says. Not trying to be super aggressive on with this beige. If we're too aggressive, then it won't turn out right. Really hoping it turns out good, because I have not tried this method with green. So this is honestly could turn out really bad, or coincidentally could turn out really good. And I am all for experimenting with it, because if you don't experiment, how will you ever get better? Yeah, Freya says that's what's up. Hit the tootsies. You want out? Fine, I'll let you out. I'll let you out, since you're being loud. You want out? Okay. Is that what you want? Yeah? There you go. Loud cat. Loud cat. Back to painting. Load the brush. Unload the brush. And now we gotta get that backside nice and swift. Get that helmet a little bit better. And that hand. Of course, gotta get the hand. The thumb. We're not going to get the bottom side, since I think that'll kind of ruin the effect that we're doing with the volumetric. There we go. But yeah, that's looking pretty clean. Nice and shaded. Which is exactly what we want. Want to hit that bicep. I think we got the bicep pretty good. And now our last model with this beige. And then we'll go on to an actual white. A pure white. I don't think we're going to mix it. It's just going to be an actual white. And it's going to be very, very light. After that, I'll have to get the green set up, which I haven't used these greens before, but I think I know what I want to do. I know I wanted the greens to be different colors, like different shades of green, and that'll make it look really cool. But I have to break the brush quick so that it has that point, but it gets rid of the factory like glue that's naturally on it when it comes out. Okay, backside. It's not a fast process, but it is a process. And if you rush a process, it's not really a process, is it? It turns into a more of slop. And we don't want slop. We want nice, deliberate strokes. And get that thumb just a little bit better. I think we are done with this beige, honestly. Really happy with how it looks so far. Our models are looking. So, try to offload a little bit of this beige onto our palette. Let it get a little wet. Re-wet our palette. Just like so. Re-wetted. I'm going to set the model that's been breaking on us to the side. That way I don't break it again. So I know I can be extra gentle with him. Trying to get my brush just a little wet. Like that. Ooh, that's too wet. That's too wet. In order to fix that, we just have to keep on rubbing it on this paper. That should fix it, thankfully, hopefully. Oop, and the paint that's on my hand is actually coming off. So just rub it on this paper towel. It's kind of what we're looking for. Let's keep on going in circles. Yeah. Let's see. We got our brush just a little too wet. So let's just try to get some of that moisture off. Not happy with how much moisture is on there. Come on. Almost got it to the spot where I like it. Yeah, just like that. I'm gonna go quickly wash my hand since I got a lot of paint on it already. And then we'll get right back into it. Alright, there we go. My hand is now clean from that paint. It's getting kind of built up there. Oh no! You get back up there, you camera. Let's see, how were we? I think we were like right there. Yeah, just like that. So next, we were at this brain matter beige. No, white. Just a plain old white. That's all we're looking for. So, gotta get it shaped up. Just to separate to combine the pigment and the actual medium. So, got a nice little pool right there of white. Quick little drink. Grab our model again. And let's just start loading our brush just a little bit. Just like so. Unload it onto our paper. Test it on the hand. Nice and not a lot going off, which is what exactly we want. So now we're just going to be doing it very, very lightly. It's going to look like it's almost nothing's coming off onto our model. Mainly because almost nothing is coming onto our model. Just to add that last little bit of highlight. You can see how nice and gradual a lot of this has turned into. How we went from that nice, really stark looking, dark maroon almost, and we've came to this very well shaded piece, which is exactly what we wanted, I think. Or I don't think, I know, since that was kind of the intention here. Hit the top of the butt. And this step should honestly be pretty quick, since we're not actually doing that much to the model. Because you can see, he's already pretty white. We're just making that, where it's a little white, just a little bit sharper. But we're not actually trying to change the color too much. It's supposed to be very subtle. the step that we're doing. Top of the butt. Get that bicep just a little bit. Get that thigh. And not a lot supposed to be. It's supposed to be a very subtle step. Load the brush just a little more. You want it very, very light. Yeah, just like that. Very, very light. Almost nothing should be coming off of our brush at this point. Just for that nice subtle effect to really take on that green when we do it. Hit that bicep because of course we got to show off the guns. A nice big bicep. Hit the pants just a little bit. Of course the booty cheek. But yeah, there we go. Across that glove. I'm going to hit that hand just a little bit so kind of makes it more dramatic. Load the brush just a little bit. There we go. And load it all up. Very subtle though. We already did most of our work on the earlier steps, so we don't want to ruin it right here. So that's why we want to be very gentle. Worked really hard building up the volume. Now we just got to execute it in the last step. Hate to ruin it right when we're at the end. Because I would really like to get that green down. And I think this will make it turn out pretty cool. That was a little strong. Yeah, that was a little strong, but I think it'll look fine. And just gotta hit the tusks, since we will be doing stuff with the tusks later. Hit that bicep. Definitely hit this bicep. Load our paint. Top of the bicep. It works so hard to get them, so gotta show our appreciation for those big biceps. Hit that booty cheek. Brush the booty cheeks on. Top of that knee. And he's good. Next, Gitz. Now for these Gitz, I think I want to be very gentle since they're so small. Even more gentle than we were with the orcs, since any small little deviation is going to be a lot more pronounced on such a smaller model. Which I think is just kind of how she goes. Maybe I should have done this with airbrush, but then I wouldn't be able to talk to all you cool people. Maybe the airbrush would have been faster, but I think this dry brushing's making it just a little bit more, just a little better. Just a little better. Just by a hair. So, load the brush just a little bit. Test on our hand. A little bit too much on that. Be a little aggressive on my hand there. Just unload the pigment. Looks like he's got a weird little divot in his head, but we can just call that a scar. Little scarring's probably pretty normal on our Gitz. They get thrown through a lot, especially in Blood Bowl. So, can't really blame them for getting a few bumps. It's bound to happen anyway, right? When you're playing such a difficult sport as Blood Bowl. Be very gentle on all these muscles. It's a lot of skin on the Orcs team. So, and I don't do too much skin, seeing as I mainly do Tyranids. That's more scaly, or not even really scaly. It's more of a carapace. So you get a lot of experience doing the bug. Not a lot of experience doing the bug. Come on. There we go. I think that's the appropriate amount. Very, very gentle. Very, very gentle. There we go. That should be pretty decent. Definitely want to hit that hand pretty good. And on to the next one. Almost there. So then we can start doing our greens. That nice tricep. And with the booty model. Try to be very gentle on this guy since he is he's a battle damaged veteran. So we're going to be going kind of gentle with him. Especially on that hand where it keeps on falling off. I definitely want to hit the moon. Ooh, get back in frame, buddy. We do have to hit his hand just a little bit. And there we go. I think we are ready to do our green. So the thing that we've all been waiting for. Time to do that green. All right, let me go get the green set up. Since it's a little bit different than what we have out now. So we got to get rid of these whites, or the wet palette, since I don't really need it for this. To do the green. Hey, I'm stuck in my chair. Oh, where's my speed paint? Okay, there's the speed paint. And we'll get 3 bowls for now. So, we gotta get our bowls. So, I think we want... Where's my green? Got our green. Take this purple. Get a little blue. Definitely get the blue and yellow in there. And then I really want to get a red. That's too many. We'll get rid of the purple. We'll keep it to just these 3 for now. And then we'll expand our colors as we go. So I'll get that set to the side. And now we can start mixing. So I think at first we're going to start... Ooh, that needs to be cleaned out. This has a little purple in it. But we don't need the sheet anymore. We don't need our paper. Take a drink. So we're going to use a number... I'm going to use a number 0 pen or paintbrush right now. I think it's a little too small for what I'm doing just because I don't like how small the actual bristles are, but I do like how detailed the brush is. So I'm going to dip it in water first, just to wet the brush. Make sure we keep that nice point. I'm okay with ruining this brush because this is just a cheap brush. We're not going to care about it super bad. And then next, shake up the speed paint. And then I also have this airbrush medium, which I like to use as a speed paint as well. So we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So this will be straight green. And I'm okay with if this gets in the furrow because it's a cheap brush. I don't have to care as much. So unload the brush. Get our first orc. Draw off the brush quick with our bristle. Actually, I think what we'll do is set it like that. There we go. I think this is a decent setup for what we got. So just load the brush just a little bit. See if it'll focus on the thing. So that's nice and loaded. And we'll see how this turns out. Very vibrant on that green. Trying to focus, so sorry if I don't talk as much here. I am worried about the lines. I'm trying to be fairly precise with it. Just so it looks good. Which I think maybe I need to do a bigger brush. I think this one's just a little too small, so I might get a different brush to really show it. Because it doesn't hold that much paint. But it is better. It is good for detail work. Try to get really in there. Try to get that nice big panel. Super deep in there. Not going to be super concerned if we go a little bit over, since that kind of works for what we're looking for anyway. You can see how that kind of transforms us into this really cool effect with the red. Let's keep on doing that. Try to outline that glove just a little bit. And just keep on loading stuff in there. So it turns pretty good. You can see a little gap in the model. But you can see how that red kind of makes it look a lot darker than what it would where it's white. Which is exactly what we kind of wanted with that shading. So I'm going to try to get the back side here. Sorry if it gets a little hard to see, but it's hard to see for me as well. Because I got to get into weird angles. Which is kind of how Warhammer kind of turns out sometimes. Hey Landon, what up? It's good to see you back. So, just gonna load it in there. I'm not very happy with how this brush is doing. It doesn't hold enough paint. So I think I'm going to switch to one of my better brushes real quick, because we're going to be here all day if I have to work with that brush, when I can get a bigger one that has a little, or you kind of see the difference there, is well, it's just a little bit bigger, but this top one can hold a lot more paint in it, in that belly. Oh, no problem, Landon. Don't feel rushed. It's good to see you, though. Have a good time at church. Oh, did it. Ah, dang it. Got his elbow. So we're going to load this up. Make sure not to get in the furrow. And go back. This is a little too vibrant for me. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be quite as vibrant, but I think that's fine for what it is. We did want different skin tones. So if we don't like a certain skin tone, like if it's a little too greeny, we can definitely fix that. And we want to do a couple layers anyway, just to get it nice and even. Again, apologies if it gets a little hard to actually see what I'm doing. But that's just kind of how painting these three-dimensional things go. See you, Landon. Is you kind of get into these weird spots that's hard to actually reach and see. You know they're there. Especially trying to do it all in one thing. I'm going to spill over a little bit right there. You can see right in that bicep, there's still just a little bit of green, which I'm not, a little bit of some red showing through, which I don't like. I don't want any red showing through. But you can see that bicep turned out pretty good. So we'll let that dry. We'll go to the other side. We don't want to overdo it on one side. So we'll just keep continuing. And it should turn out pretty good for us, I think. That armpit. You can always go back over it later with another layer or with a more opaque green, or anything that we don't 100% like, which is fine too. No, I'm happy with the progress that we've been able to make tonight. I think it's a good amount. Oh, did I? Yeah. Wiped off some green, so we'll just touch that up again. Definitely gotta get the his armpit again at some point. Oh, dropped him a brush. That green's starting to dry, so I don't want to keep hitting it where it's drying, because that'll turn out bad as well. They'll start to tear the paint, which is no good for anyone. Not us, not the model. No one. Let's see. We paint that a little bit better so it gets a little bit more paint on there. Really right in there. And then right in there as well. Oh, this is coming out pretty good. A lot better than I expected, than I anticipated. So definitely no complaints. because I haven't really done slap chop method before. So I am happy with how well the green turned out. Ooh, I completely messed up that bicep by fat fingering it. Thankfully, I can fix that pretty quick. Shouldn't be an issue. So that's reapplied. Try to get the underside of it just a little bit better. There we go. There we go. Nice and good on there. Try to get that arm a second time. A nice, good second coat. It's nice and green, because green is good and mean. So not getting armpits, really not getting in there too well. But while we're on it, I think we'll get the face done. It's okay if we get over the eyes in this part, since we'll definitely go over it again. We'll hit it with the white later. Okay, and underneath that chin. Yeah, this will be a hard spot to reach. You can see it's not really soaking through there, but that's okay. It's going to be a couple coats anyway. Getting nice and vibrant. Not that we really want vibrant, but gotta do layers anyway. Brush over the eye. Yeah, that's about what we're looking for on all that. Let's see, is there anything in the mouth we can kind of pick out? We'll just throw green in there, see what happens. A blank green, it'll settle down in spots that we want anyway, I think. Get a little messy with it down in there, down in here. Gotta do a couple coats, that's fine too. As long as it looks nice and good. Dang it. And not like that. And we'll let this guy dry for a little bit. But definitely turned out pretty good so far. Get on to the next guy. Nice and even. Shloop. You can see how it looks, how good that looks on that vein right there. Looks nice and nice and prominent on the veins, which is exactly what we hoped for. You can see where it's still pretty deep. It's deep red. It's actually turning into a nice, more natural shadow, which really what you're hoping for with the green skin. Just like that. Let's try to get in that armpit, the hard to reach spot. Again, apologies if it's hard to see, but it's hard to see for me as well. That looks pretty good, I think. We'll let that dry just a little bit and go on to our next model. Wow, Dabby, you just realized this is live. Okay. We'll put our green over this guy. Let's see how that really does make it pop with all that volume stuff that we did. It took us 2 hours to get all this volume done, and it's honestly putting in some work, which is exactly what we hoped for. Just to make that lighting look really good. So now it's mainly just brushing it on. You can see even where that dark red was, it put in a nice shadow. And then after this, when we have all of our greens on, I think I might go on with almost a glaze. Wow. Doom scrolling and not to me, Dobby. Wow. You were looking for other people to doom scroll to. Get underneath here as well, underneath that buckle. It's hard to get where it's really red because it doesn't seem to want to take as much. But we'll have to do a couple layers regardless, just because of how paint is. No, very happy with how the paint's turning, considering what it is. So I'll be good for that arm for now. We'll let it dry and go on to the next one. Mostly Odyssey reels? Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Odyssey stuff lately as well. This armpit's a problem on his brother, one that has the same pose as him, so hopefully it won't give us too many problems on this one. Which it seems to be handling better, that armpit. Yeah, it's handling the green a lot better on this armpit than the other one. Shoop. Get into this really hard to reach spot. And there's that arm. We'll let that dry. Just do one arm at a time. That way we're constantly moving, not having to worry about going over things again. Just let the paint dry and then we can touch it up again. Not work with wet paint. Because when you work with wet paint, it can tear the paint actually, which is not what we want. That turns into a giant mess and is almost impossible to fix. Which we really don't want to do the shading again. So it took us 2 hours to get here. That green's just coming on there so nicely. This armpit, which is really, really tricky. Really, really deep in there. Can always go back over, so no use in getting super upset with it. I think we're just trying to mainly get the green base on, and then once this green base is on, we can start tinting it so that all the greens look a little different. Since I don't want all of them to just be green, I want some to be a little bit more yellow green, some to be a little bit more blue green, so that it all looks each model looks a little different, a little unique. Because skin tones shouldn't be the same, I think. I think they should all be just a little different. Especially on orcs, where they rely heavily on that deep skin tone to really stand out on the tabletop. And with so little models in Blood Bowl, it only makes even more sense to do that, I think. Try to get underneath that buckle. Just like that. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. So we'll say that's good enough. Clean off our brush there. Put that up there, actually. Wipe that off. Okay. What was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Doing a 2-to-1 ratio of the speed paint and the thinner, or the medium. Mix that all up, so it stays nice and thin, but good enough so that we can keep working with it. So load our brush again. And we'll do a second coat on this guy. This was our first guy, which you can see that he's coming along pretty good. Definitely no complaints with how that green went on there. That's almost a perfect orc green, I think. Yeah, look at that. That's almost exactly what you look for in a green, an orc green. So we'll just do that again. And that'll get all of our spots where it's kind of showing through, hopefully. Where it shows through just a little bit too much. And it gives us a more even coating. Even coverage. We got to get inside that armor panel just a little bit better. Kind of a tricky area to get in there, though. Try overloading it. Well, this is going on there nice and even, which is perfect. That'll be good for that guy. Let that layer dry. Yeah, really good on there. It's a good thing that even despite how good this green's getting on there, it's a good thing this isn't our final green either. Because we'll be going over it with some more layers, which will help bring out some shading. Can't see wait to see the end result. Oh, you're a long ways away from the end result, Dobby. You gotta enjoy the process as it goes. We are hours away from it. I'm just hoping to get done with the green today. which I don't think we're going to be able to get done with the green, considering it's almost 2.5 hours and this is as far as we've gotten. That's good. We'll get on to our next model. Honestly, this one went on there really good. And just keep the paint moving. We have that medium on there, so that helps keep it wet. And the longer it stays wet, the more time we actually have to work with the piece before it starts to dry. So then we can pull it into the corners just a little better. That under the armpit is definitely hard for us to hit their brush, though. No, that looks solid. Getting a little thirsty. You still at work, Dobby, or are you on? Ooh. You see a circle right there, which isn't ideal. Keep on painting. Just keep the paint moving. Sometimes how you just gotta play it. But to a nice even coat should mostly be done. And then we can move into layering, I think. That arm is done. Go to the next one. Wow. Working so long when you could be doing Warhammer, Dobby. How dare you? Get right underneath that buckle again. That buckle's hard to get underneath it. It's a good thing I don't have to worry about splashing over, because all this armor is going to be done with a metallic, which very, very opaque. It'll ride right over any green that we do some spillage on. So thankfully in this step we don't have to be super, super concerned. And honestly, this is looking really good. That is a really good green coverage on that arm. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Looks really smooth. Try to get it better in the light, because the lighting's a little dramatic on the YouTube. Okay, next we're going to do the other arm. We're going to do righty. That should just be one coat on this side. And this arm should be pretty good, honestly speaking, since we've already did this one once. Just no reason to rush it. We got time. Time to get everything nice and detailed in there. No reason in rushing a paint job, I say, because we're going to deal with these. It's going to be green forever. The paint job's going to be forever, most likely. So it's going to be forever. Might as well make sure it's good, I think. I'll note a little bit of green on that. Now you can see how nice and white that is. One little pass. And it's already looking orky. Nice and orky. Get under there. I think the armpits are the hardest spot to really get because the paint doesn't seem to like to pool in the high points where it's really dark, which makes sense, but still, it's a little annoying. And you said you didn't like Blood Bowl, Abby. Just look how beautiful the models are for it, though. I've been holding on to this set for a long time. I've been meaning to paint this guy for over a year, I think. Yeah, I bought this set in 2024. And I've been meaning to do this with Alex, but never got to painting it until now. And we're going to get his hand just a little bit. He's got a little thumb poking out there. Oh no. What did I rubbed off some. Oh well. It's not a big deal. We can always fix. And I want to get the thumb on the front side as well. There we go. Inside that thing. Okay. Now that arm's good. Next model. Make sure that the paint that got on my hand is good. The online game is difficult to play with compared to tabletop IRL. What do you mean? The tabletop is even harder, Dobby. Do you know how many rules go into Warhammer? Yeah, you tell him, Landon. Dobby's trying to take your moderator spot. And just really paint that on there. Remember, if it's green, it's mean. And there's no better color than green because that's orc. That's what an orc would say. What do you mean being racist? It's true. According to orc culture, at least. Oh, he's being racist? Dobby's being racist? Probably. I would believe it. You'll learn as you play. You tell him, Landon. You tell him that's not acceptable in 2026. Ooh, we missed that bicep right in there. Ah, that's a hard angle. That is not a good angle for us to get to. Kind of just blind picked that out, but load it up in there and then keep them upright and it should pool to where we want. Nope. Dang it. Am I going to be doing this tomorrow? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Dobby, in all fairness, you talk like a young human as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you both were the same age, Dobby. Here we go. Shloop. I should have... You and Landon should fight sometime. Like, Mortal Kombat. See, I think that's the way you solve the rivalry. That's 2 out of 3. I don't think you can 1v1 on DBD, though. I don't think that's really fair, Landon. Especially since Dobby's a really bad survivor. Man gets targeted every single game. I don't even understand how. It is a miracle of the god. How much the entity hates Dobby. Yeah, that is such a good, nice shade of green. Really happy how even that turned out. Get that tricep and that bicep. Get that thumb as well. Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 would be more fair. Just saying. Because there's actual 1v1s. But I think you guys got a 1v1 on Blood Bowl. I think that's the only fair way. Poles get garbage dice rolls on Blood Bowl. Okay. Honestly, I think that's pretty good on this layer. A couple spots that need to be touched up on a second pass, but 2. You never played Space Marine, Landon? That's a good game. You gotta play it. Don't worry, I'm better than Dobby at Space Marine. No. Dobby's always dying in that game. I don't know why he's trying to 1v1 on that one. I don't know, Landon. I think he'll beat you in a IRL one. Dobby is pretty tall. He's got the reach advantage. Inside that armor panel. Come on, get green in there. For honor would be fair. That's a great 1v1. There we go. There's that first layer on the arms. Yeah, I think we're just going to... We might not even make it to the Gitz. You've never heard... Oh, wait, no, you have heard of it. I think Landon legit just plays DBD. Dobby. Just be thankful he hasn't played Fortnite. hopefully. Oh, geez, I forgot the ears. You gotta get them ears. We're going to be really messy in this mouth. That's what she said. But I think we kind of have to in order to really get in there. We don't really have a lot of room. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of room inside this. We might have to do 3 coats on his neck just because it's so dark. Can't get a good coat on it. You gotta watch out, Dobby. He is a blight. Blight does kill fast, especially on a tunnel. A little bit too much. Get that side. Yeah, Dobby likes to cheat with Huntress. Huntress is 0 skill. I said what I said. Play a real character like animatronic. Oh, I have to do the arms again, don't I? I think I only did 1 coat on the arm. Yeah, I only did 1 coat on the right arm for everyone. So I have to do that again. And not do the head. There we go. I think that's really good on the arm, honestly. I'm happy with how that arm turned out. Head needs more touch up, but I'm fine with just letting it go and let the arm dry. Oh no, this is coming out really good. I haven't done orcs before, but this is really nice. I don't get why people say that orcs are hard. Time consuming. Take a lot of time, but super easy, I think. Just to get like a nice base done. Because I know there's a lot of them, but really does lay on there easy. Get inside that bicep where it's really hard to get. No, I'm chilling on this. This is going down great. And last orc on this. Wait, what? It's not dry? Interesting. I think this is the last right arm we gotta do. Do a double check. But I thought this was the last one. Thought it inside there. Paint this all over. Ah, great. It's one of those ones that has the armpit in a really bad spot. I am so happy with how that... Yeah, that looks so good, dude. All those volumetric highlights. I've never done volumetric highlights like this, but jeez, that's good. I've always done just like straight dry brushing because that's when I'll be doing for Xenos, but so happy with how this turned out. How those biceps turned out. Just touch that up a little bit. There we go. That was a nice little touch up. Add a couple drops of water to that mix. Double check. Let's see. Just going to go over and make sure that everything's covered that we want covered. And then I'll go to the face. Because I don't want to go back to arms. I just want to do face after this. No, this is so clean. Who does the winner, or what does the winner get, Snake? Ah. Let's see. Winner gets the I don't know. You guys gotta choose your own prize. You're the ones beefing. You gotta figure out what you want. I say. It's only fair, right? You gotta find a prize that you both want. No guns for you, Landon. I don't think it's legal for you to have a gun. Anyway. Nice and green. Did this guy only get one coat of green? This is very sparse. No shot. This was a double. Hey, you saying I'm wrong though, Landon? Are you calling me a liar? Besides, why a Glock 18? Get a cool gun, like a 5.7. Glocks are so bulky, dude. 5.7s are sleek. They're sick. Nah. I've never understood why people like Glock. Sure, they're reliable and good, but no aura. You want the aura of a 5.7. Wait. Let me see the picture. Oh yeah, those are fingers. These are fingerless gloves. I'll have to do that as well. No, we won't do it during... Yeah, we're not getting done with the green in this live. We'll have to extend to next one. Because we're running out of time soon. That I have to paint. But I will definitely get the arms done. Anyway. I don't want to stop on a spot where it's not good. But I think I got about another 10 minutes before I gotta do other things. But we'll definitely get the arms done, no matter what. I'm not gonna leave it on a bad spot. But no, we've done a lot more than... I'm happy with the progress that I've been able to get done today on this model, or on this set. This was a very productive one. I haven't painted in so long, so I had a lot of nerves. Or I wasn't 100% confident in how this was going to go. As two guys just rage about honey badgers in my chat. Ooh. Oh, dang it. I touched the paint. I touched the wet paint. That's a good one, Dobby. The MXP. That's Valkyrie's gun, ain't it? From Siege. Oh yeah, that's clean, dude. That's clean. Clean paint. Clean. Okay, that's good. Whether you get up on there. That. Oh, the honey badger, the gun. Nice. I get it. I get it. Let's see. Is this one done? We'll tap inside there just a little bit, but this one's armpit. We got an unsullied armpit. I went under that buckle too. Jeez. Did not think I was going to miss that one. Well, yeah, I think that's the arms done. I'll let that dry just a little bit. Let the paint dry, because I don't want to get too far ahead. If I start another portion, then that might take another while. I don't want to leave things on a bad end. But considering how far we got, I would say this is really strong. This is a really strong entry. I don't see any spots that are really peeking out of that red. I see a little bit right there in that crevice that I can whack next time. Next time we'll do the faces and then get our Gitz done as well, since we ran out of time to do that. But we're just going to check over our models, and then I think we'll call it a stream right there, since I don't think we can really get into anything else tonight. Yeah, I need to get inside that pit a lot more. But let's go and take a couple coats. The thumb's really good. This guy's really good. Maybe inside that same spot again. We'll hit right in there just a little bit. Just hit this other side, just a hair. Oop, that was way too much. Let's see. Oop, hit the camera. Just a little bit of paint in that pocket that we have troubles getting paint into. That'll be good. And I want to get deep inside this cavity. Line this just a little bit better. Get inside there pretty good. Just doing the final touch-ups on the arms, since we're already set up. Dot it and then just run the brush inside. Check inside this one. Get that nice peck. I think we got to get inside here, actually. Always clean it up later, in case we decide that that's not part of the model. Did I check around the edge as well? Get right in there. Right underneath that pit. Right in there. Oh, touch that up a little bit underneath the arm. Good, good, good. Pack could be done a little bit better. Good. Underneath that buckle again. Needs to be hit just a little bit. That corner. How does the pack look? Honestly, really good. That buckle looks good. A little bit of paint right there. No, I think that's enough. I think that's everything we can cover tonight. What time is it? It is 9. But I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching if you still are. So glad to see all of you there. We'll be doing this again next week, Wednesday. We'll do more Warhammer painting. We'll probably end up hitting the heads and then maybe getting onto the bodies. But I think we'll just get stuck on the heads, since there's going to be so much of that with the heads on the orcs, their fingers, and then obviously getting all the Gitz, or these goblins. So I think that green will take up a lot of our time. If we get to it, we'll start outlining or doing a base coat of the actual armor pieces whenever we do this next stream next week. So thank you all so much for watching. Hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more, and consider watching our other stuff on the channel. But until the next one, have a great rest of your night, and bye-bye. As soon as I figure out how to stop the live. Get that 1v1 showdown stream for Saturday? Sure, yeah, we can stream that if you want. Dobby, get that set up, because you're more of a people person than me. But I have to figure out now how to stop a stream, because I have not done stream on my phone before. But Dobby, you'll have to figure that one out. Is this it? Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's the button. Okay, so I figured out the button. So, see you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye.